Hello, wonderful, beautiful, divine beings of light. My name is Daniel. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about two different operating systems, two different modes of being, so to speak, two ways of going through life, two different mindsets that either of us can adopt to live in order to have an amazing life or to kind of be caught up in the old energy, so to speak. And that's exactly what they are. We're in the middle of an energy shift right now on the planet, and we're letting go of a lot of the old programs and a lot of the old energy that has worked in the past that might not be working right now. And I see in the Bible that there's an amazing story to illustrate this, the story of Mary and Martha. In 10 seconds, what the story is about is that Jesus is in the home of Martha and Mary, and they're sisters. Martha is super busy. She's getting the meal ready. She's cleaning the kitchen, striving, doing all of this stuff because she wants to have a good dinner for Jesus, the Son of God. Imagine the Son of God's coming over to your house and, you got to put on a function for him. And she is just working really hard, slaving away. And Mary's just goes and sits at Jesus's feet. She's just sitting there looking at him, being completely present, in the presence. And Martha can't believe this. In her offense that Mary isn't helping her, she pipes up and says, Jesus, won't you tell Mary to come and help me? Won't you tell Mary to get off her lazy butt and do something around the house? She hasn't been doing anything. I've been working a full-time job. I've been doing all of this stuff, and then I come home and now I'm in charge of having to make the entire dinner, clean up the entire house, and just to make a nice meal for you. And can you believe that Mary's not doing anything? Can you tell her to please get off her lazy butt to do something? And Jesus' response to Martha is quite surprising because it's pretty easy to think that Martha's in the right, that she is the one who has the right to be angry because Mary's lazy, she's not helping, and she's not doing anything. And so Jesus pipes up and he says, Martha, your mind is filled with many things. You are worried about much. But Mary, she has found the better way, and that will never be taken from her. So see, this story isn't actually about these two women and Jesus. I mean, that could be one level of it, but what it's really about is two internal states of being, two internal mindsets that we as an individual have. We have the old energy, the Martha energy, which is all about striving to prove ourselves to God, to other people, to put on the front, to put on the show that we are good, we are productive beings. And that makes us strive and do a lot of things that are very stressful. That puts our body into the fight or flight state. But Mary, she's entered into a deep level of presence. She's entered into a deep level of the now moment. Her looking at Jesus and sitting at Jesus' feet is symbolic of her sitting and being one with the divine within her. She has found the way to eternal life. She has tapped into the eternal kingdom within herself, being present without needing to do anything in order to be anything. Right now, in your own life, you may be confronted with somebody, a partner, a boss, or even yourself and your own limiting belief systems that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. I need to prove myself to my dad. I need to perform better so that people like me. I need to be more productive and do more things around the house so that my husband won't leave me. All of these things come up, but the reality is there is a better way. There is a higher way. And a lot of the things that we're experiencing in our life right now are actually triggers to point us back to the condition of our heart and how jumbled and how stressed out it is. So see, Martha, when she was in the middle of doing all of her stuff, looked at Mary and actually got triggered. She got really upset because she had so many, her heart was so full of all the worries. So that trigger actually triggered Martha into getting angry, and that anger lashed out at Jesus to tell him to get Mary to change. See, in the old energy, it's always somebody else's problem. It's always something outside of ourselves that is ruining our day, that has the power over us. But see, in this new energy, we take responsibility for how we're thinking and how we're feeling, and we raise our consciousness level and we be present in the present moment. See, Martha got triggered. She saw Mary got triggered, went unconscious, and started running an old program of, I'm doing so much. Mary is such a lazy person. And she went into this old program loop based on things that have unfolded in the past and really lost her peace and gave up the present moment for something that she thought was more important than that. But the reality is that under each trigger, there's a coping mechanism. Mary's coping mechanism is to do more work, to strive and overcome how she's feeling inside. But if we as people, when we get triggered, we can see the trigger for what it is, an opportunity to level up. And rather than following the coping mechanism, we can actually look inside and be like, why am I feeling this way? So if Mary didn't just continue to dive her head into work and stuff, and she was actually conscious and said, why am I feeling this way? So she doesn't get Jesus to try to change the external. She doesn't try to cancel what Mary's doing. She doesn't keep striving. But if she actually took the Mary perspective and got present for a moment and said, why am I feeling this way? There would be something underneath that. Because under each trigger is pain. And under each pain, there's either a coping mechanism to help you numb yourself, or make you feel better, or there is a level of going into that pain, which is the narrow road, and facing that stuff, because underneath that pain is a part of yourself, a wounded child that was hurt when you were a kid, or was taught a certain way when you were a kid. A belief system and an unconscious programming structure that is in place that is causing you to act a certain way. Okay, so under the trigger, there's pain. And under the pain, there's a part of you that needs to be seen and loved. And this is the most amazing thing, because we can actually go into those parts of ourselves, go into the past and heal the parts of ourselves that need healing, and love the parts of us that need loving, and see the parts of us, see the kids in us, the little children, the inner child that needs to be seen and loved. And when we see and love them, then we heal them, and it changes our entire life and destiny up to this point. Because we are quantum, multidimensional beings, we can actually go into the spirit, since we're seated in heavenly places, outside of space and time, using the gateway of our imagination, and we can go into the past, into these triggers, into these traumas that first happened to us, and bring a level of love. Maybe we were rejected by our parents. Maybe we go in there as our higher self, as a divine being, as God, and we parent those parts of us that need to be loved. And once we do that and we see them, we don't need to use the old coping mechanisms anymore. We don't need to numb out with relationships, alcohol, drugs, food, and stuff anymore. We can actually embrace it and become a new person. And the exciting thing is we have never felt who we actually are on the other side of those triggers being healed. So I hope you took something from this today. If you like this video, like my content, like and subscribe. My channel is dedicated to helping you raise your consciousness level and help you understand and deconstruct from a lot of the theologically damaging doctrines of religion. So shalom, friends.